Blessings. Thank you for joining in with us. Tell somebody else about it. Like, tag, share. Blessings, Apostle. Just trying to leave time for a few more people to come on so we're not repeating ourselves a lot because we're already not going to be long today. Still feeling the effects of my procedure from yesterday, but we just wanted to be consistent. That's not my water out the freezer.
No, it's hot.
Mine just went outside and got them.
You want some?
Speaking. Yes, you say hi to Apostle.
Hi, Apostle. Probably get in here.
I'm wondering where everybody at too. Not even today. They usually say schedule right here. So I was on the page to see if it was on. But it is on. We have been talking interchangeably about the matters of the heart and a silent death. Many people are dying in silence because they have not had the wherewithal to free themselves of what they've been carrying. Many people carrying burdens from their youth, either because of the way they were brought up. You better not say nothing. My business better not be out in the street. Whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Children really didn't have an option of belief. If a parent was talking regarding you and an interaction with another parent, most times the other parent got it and you just had to deal with it. And then when you got home, you got in trouble again because you don't call adults liars. So because you can't do that, when they say that they didn't do the thing that was done, the parents automatically go with that. And those are kinds of things or situations that many of us have carried up through the years. And now we're at a point where we're not sure. You have some people saying, well, is it even worth it to talk about it now? I've carried it this long. Why carry it further? Not realizing that there are some things going on internally because they are carrying it, because they're not sharing it, because they don't know who they can trust and who to let in. And so they are carrying it. They're having heart attacks. They're having anxiety. They're having schizophrenia issues. And all of these things affect the, I'll tell you wrong, they affect the liver, the kidneys, and the lungs and the spleen. Liver, kidney, lungs, and spleen are the main parts of your body that are affected by you holding in emotions, holding in anger, abandonment issues, all of these things that you probably don't want to admit to yourself are keeping you from being in healthy relationships, whether it be your girlfriend, whether it be your boyfriend, whether it be your church friend, whatever kind, because when you say friend, you have to be careful. But whatever kind of relationship you're in, if you are not being real to yourself about what's going on inside. I tell people all the time, well, we tell people all the time, Jesus and therapy works. Now, are we saying don't talk to your leaders? No, you're supposed to let your leaders know what's going on. Yes, we're your leaders, but we don't know everything. So communication helps us to be able to establish a better prayer life regarding your situation. And so you want to talk to someone. I say therapy because when you're talking to that therapist, it's with no condemnation. They're not there to judge you. They're not there to make you feel bad about what you're going through. Their whole purpose is to sit there and be able to listen to you. And after listening to you, give you some strategies on how to deal with it so that you don't have to continue to hold it in. And so we want to help you understand that it is still a matter of the heart that causes a silent death. There are people who are smiling in front of you and they're dying inside, more and more, quicker and quicker, because each time that they're around you and they're trying to act as everything is okay, they are not, they're just not dealing with their feelings.
You be on every week, huh?
Blameless. Blessings.
Most valuable player, right?
My lateness.
And so with us carrying around grief, and some of us,
Blessings, Coco.
hey, Pray, um, most of us are dealing with some things, traumas from days of old, because we didn't have the correct support, or we didn't have the correct room allowed for you to say that this is what's wrong. This is what I need to talk about. Because everybody was quick to throw you on the altar, but what happens after the altar?
Ooh, that's a word.
What happens after the altar when you leave the altar with the same thing you came there with, and nobody has picked up the fact that you brought something, picked it up, and took it back with you when you were supposed to have been leaving it with the Lord? And all of us have been guilty with that at some time or another, where we go up to the altar because they're making an altar call because something that they said registered within you about something you needed. You went up there to the altar, and so that's all you did. You went up there to the altar because they had to tell you what to say. You didn't know how to start praying. Then when they did tell you what to say, you did say it. But your body language, as you were leaving, said, I just took it back with me. Like, I've been dealing with it this long. I'll just take it back with me for a little while longer. It ain't hurt me yet. So you think. So you think it hasn't hurt you, because again, I'll say that it's proven facts that anger deals with your liver, affects your liver, fear deals with your kidneys, grief deals with your lungs, and resentment deals with your spleen. Very
Not the
important
spleen, now.
The
factors
spleen is crazy.
in your life that from you internalizing and choosing to go through this in silence when you no longer have to. You no longer have to. There are people around you. Not every leader is bad, but until you allow that leader an opportunity to get inside, you'll never know. And so you're walking around with something you don't necessarily have to, because of trust issues. And that stems from our younger years, you know, being hurt because you thought, because you told this person it was going to make a difference, only to find out that when it all was said and done, you still left feeling like the victim. There was no peace. And so, hey, Daniela. So we've been dealing with these matters of the heart, and dealing with that silent death. So angry inside, but yet you have this smile to make everybody think the world is all right.
Y'all see me?
No.
Oh,
I see your shoulder.
that's a part of me.
There you go.
Back a little bit.
I can't. I think if it's this chair, it's out that way more. Because I can't move over
See?
now.
See how you came on in there? And so here we are. Better. Here we are on a regular basis, trying to be there, trying to help you understand that you don't have to go through this by yourself. Um, and again, it is because even though we tell people you could talk to your leaders, or we're supposed to be able to bear our stuff with our brethren and our sisters. We're supposed to be able to confess our faults. And once upon a time, you used to be able to do that without any problem. But nowadays, we're finding that when you're sharing with someone, blessings, pumpkin, um, when you're sharing with someone, the next thing you know, you're being exposed. So now you're traumatized yet again. And you've decided, now I'm just not going to trust nobody. I'm just not going to say nothing. I'm going to keep on doing me. I've been fine all of this time. But have you really? How many times have we had to visit you in the hospital? How many times have we had to pray you out of a situation with your body? Because you're not understanding that by you internalizing and dealing with all of this stuff in silence, you are slowly but surely cooking those body parts within. Kidney stones, gallstones,
Ulcers.
cirrhosis. Like, because they're talking about the liver and the spleen and all of that. And so if you're not being honest about where you are, some people say that being honest has still never gotten them anywhere. That used to be me. I still feel that way in some ways. It depends on what it is that I brought to somebody, you know, and I came to them because I thought they were the one. I felt that I was being led to that person for whatever the reason. Either they've been there, done that, or they've had experience with it, whether it be through their occupation or whatever. And so you feel like, hey, I can go to them, because any other time that I've said something, it never came back to me. But that's all well and good. That means that I can trust you with what I'm going through. But after I trust you with what I'm going through, are you gonna help me? Are you are you just gonna be satisfied with the fact that I allowed you to know that I trust you with what I'm going through? So are you just gonna pray for them, or are you gonna help them? Because if I take the time and come to you, that means I'm looking for something. Now, for me, um, with my bestie, when we're talking to one another, or if we have something, we say, I just need you to listen. You tell people up front, I just need you to listen. I just need to vent. Or I need my bestie right now. I don't need the prophetess. I need my bestie. I need to bleed, you know. And so what happens when there's that other person that has now come to you? You may feel like you're not qualified. No, please don't tell them that. Tell them that I believe,
qualified to help you.
especially in leadership, right? Tell them that, I haven't had much experience with this, but I do know someone who has. And do you feel comfortable enough with me sharing your issue? Because if it's going to get you an answer, and if I trust them and you trusted me, then you should know that it's not for exposure. It is actually there to help walk you through some things. The problem that some of us have as well is that we don't know how to allow somebody to help walk us through things. We're walking and then we're wondering why our arm is jerking. Is because you still back there where we started, and you never started walking with me. um, and so, how do we deal with that? How do we avoid a silent death? How do we um, open up our hearts again? I tell people that we counsel all the time when they say, I'm not putting my heart back out there, then you don't want love. Because in order for you to have love, your heart has to be there to receive it. And so if you're not allowing your heart to be put out there, look at what Jesus did. He put his heart out there all the time, like for real, like just all the time. He was the devil's advocate for folk. He was just everything to everybody, but nobody could be there for him. Could you not watch?
The sad part.
Could you not watch? Father, look at these people, these same people that you had me perform miracles for. These same people are standing in front of me saying, crucify him. So are we finding ourselves where um, that is why we can't open up because of what has happened? Well, how are we going to get over what has happened if we never deal with it? So now you have a culmination of things just piling one on top of the other, never getting solutions or even progressive suggestions for either one, because now we don't know where you at. We don't know, because now you're exploding. We don't know if it's because something just happened or something happened and it just made everything in the past come back up. That's unfair because that's too many emotions to have to deal with at one time. Would you not agree?
Yes, I would agree. I can't talk too much because my mouth hurting. But as I was thinking about what Apostle was saying, and I asked her again about silence. I heard her say it when I came in. A lot of times we don't acknowledge our silence. We pretend that it's not there, or we pretend that it doesn't hurt. And sometimes your silence can feel like rejection or abandonment, but sometimes it's the space where healing starts. I told this to somebody today: journaling, pray about it, Talk to someone safe, like Apostle just said. Naming the pain remove its hidden power. So once you name the pain,
That's good.
name what's hurting,
Right.
name what was done, then you journal about it, because then it no longer has that power over you anymore. Once you name it and claim it, they used to tell us at church, name it and claim it. So once you
Clark
name
system.
it, it doesn't have that same power anymore. It only has as much power as you give it. If you keep feeding something, eventually it's going to grow. So when you're not feeding it, when you're ignoring it, when you're not giving that same attention, after a while it's going to start to die, because you're not giving that thing that same attention anymore. So that's
Right.
something that I wanted to bring out as I was studying about it. It was saying the most powerful tool is to name the pain, and it will remove that hidden power. So a lot of times we have things that in our life that we don't name, or that we're not facing, and so we give it more power than it needs to have in our lives,
Right.
and especially in our mind. So that's what I wanted to say on that part.
I can agree with that. I was talking to my therapist about that today, and most times, like for me, I don't really express my feelings as much, and it's most likely became unhealthy because what happens is once you get in the heated part of a moment, like you start expressing your feelings, but it starts to get like more like anger. You get more of the emotions out, and for me, I learned to hold stuff in rather than letting it out because I was always afraid to express my feelings.
So remember this: it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So, and I had to learn that with my bestie. It's not what I'm saying. And a lot of times, now see, if you could tell, it's just a habit talking with my hands. So
Right.
a lot of times I used to tell my bestie, when you're talking to me, don't talk with your hands, or if we're having a heated conversation. But then I had to realize that's how she get her point across. That's how most of us talk. If you look
Right.
at most of us black people in the black community, we talk with our hands. Like I don't know if that's a habit, or I don't know what it is, but it fires people up, because I used to feel like, why you talking to me with your
It felt
hands?
like a threat.
So it depends on, I guess, the moment and the mood. But I want to say this. My mouth is killing me.
Oh Lord.
Redefine the silence. That was one of the other points that I looked up when I looked up on deaf to silence. It said silence doesn't always mean death. Sometimes it's transformation. And I was like, what?
Oh wow.
So I dug a little deeper. It says in scripture, before resurrection, there was always a moment of silence. I dug a little deeper. It said between the cross and the resurrection, heaven was quiet. Between the promise and the fulfillment, God was silent. Silence can be the soil where new life begins to form. So it depends on how we use our, that thing messed me up.
Wow.
Wait to get back downstairs. I was like, I gotta go. We were on a conference call. My husband's still on there. I was like, I'll be back because I have another meeting to attend, because that gives you something to think about. Sometimes we take silence as being a bad thing, but it's not. How you silence. Does that
Right.
make sense? It's how you use your silence. So sometimes it could be bad or it could be good. But that blessed me. So I wanted to get that point out. Um, Silence is not with your ears, but your spirit. Ask, what is this silence trying to teach me? Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you strength. Maybe it's teaching you discernment. Maybe it's clearing noise so you can hear your own voice.
Wow.
And while I agree with all of that, I guess because there's a flip side. There's a good and a bad
Mm-hmm.
to everything. So the fact that you mentioned the parts of when God was silent,
Mm-hmm.
but He was silenced because He had already said so much to us,
Right.
Right.
we didn't seem to be
You
catching
didn't
it.
get the memo.
So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna shut up. Just like the time between the ending of the Old Testament and the beginning of the
400
New, 400 years, He was
years. He
silent.
was
You know, I don't know what I would do if somebody that meant that much to me didn't talk for 400 years. You know,
That's a
it would
lot.
be hard for me to believe that they're coming back. When they come back and say, "Here I am," I don't believe you. So
And
Like, where you been at all my life?
sometimes your silence speak loudly.
It
You
does.
can be sitting right in the room, and sometimes I could read my bestie mind, and we'll open up our mouth and say something at the same time, and be like, "Wow, that's what I was thinking." So sometimes your silence can speak for you when you're connected to a person. You know, so
sometimes silence is the best thing you could do, but don't hold on to it forever. So say like somebody irritated you,
Right.
and because you know how you can get, you chose silence. But now that silence is staying in there. What's helping it grow?
you being silent
You
and
What's
stubborn.
but what is it helping you grow?
Oh, what is it? Nothing.
Let's help you.
Animosity, hatred,
Anger.
Bitterness, anger,
all of the negatives because
and then that
I
stuff
was I was
explode later.
yes because I was told I should try to keep silent sometime, but we got to know when, when, and we got to know how long. Like the Bible says, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. So if the person that is causing this thing, and sometimes unaware, some people really don't realize they don't hurt your feelings. They don't going on about their way, happy go lucky, having fun with everybody else, and you over there moping because what happened just bothered you. I think that it's only fair to the person that you let them know. I think that's why silence in some ways is not a good thing, because now you're going to bed angry, and it says that's going to mess with your liver. You understand what I'm saying? I'm laying down, but while I'm laying down, what I've done or lack thereof is now messing with my liver.
Hmm.
Like I think if we sometimes would think about things in that manner, like me holding it in, what part of my body is this going to affect? What part of my body is this going to affect? And sometimes the reality is that silence is golden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, silence is golden, but you have to know that, or be in a place and a posture and position to know that silence can only last but so long, especially when you're in the kingdom, and especially if you the only one know that I did something to you, because I didn't know. I didn't know what I said, or I didn't know how I said it, or I didn't know, because we've had to apologize for that, because again, we live by the precept that one person's perception is another person's reality. And so, in your mind, what you said, you don't understand why it's supposed to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we over here saying, did they really just do that?
Right.
And so you're even more mad because I'm moving around like nothing ever happened. But I really didn't know that it did. And so when we are quiet for a long period of time and have no resolve and still have the same level of anger or discomfort now as we did 3 months ago, it's time for you to re-examine. It's time for you to examine for your own good, because it says that these things could also cause depression. And we who have dealt with this lame little joker called depression for some period of time, we understand that depression also can now lead to bipolar and schizophrenia.
Yes.
People think that they all coming from all these different things. No, you add up some of these emotions, and that's why the next one got there.
Mm-hmm.
Bipolar. That's that person trying to deal with all of the hurts and things that have happened. Today, I'm this person and I'm acting like nothing has ever been wrong in the world. And tomorrow morning, not even tomorrow, later on tonight, when you try to talk to them, they blast. It's like a whole nother person. Like, why you in my room? Why you bothering me? Could you just leave? I don't. Well, I was only trying. Please,
Just
and it's just a reality that when we internalize, we are causing more harm to ourselves than we are to the other person.
I can agree. Because when I've internalized a lot, it caused me to even like forget some of the stuff that even happened. And when you build it up on top of each other, now you got to find a way to try to let it go.
I'm telling you, I'd be mad sometimes that God holds me to this place called the apostle because I just feel like I could shut so many things down so much easier if he would just let Nita do it instead of the apostle.
You want the natural person.
And I'd be like, you better thank God, you know? Um, it was good that I had been afflicted. You better know because there were some things that could have went another way, but it was good that I had been afflicted.
Right.
He knew when to break me down. He knew when to stand me still, and he knew when to release me back out there. Um, I was supposed to say something else, but I don't remember what it is. You have something else to say?
Then I'm gonna take this tooth out my mouth.
Mm, sure.
I'm the same way right now. Tooth been hurting for like a week or two.
Bless your heart. It's called What Would Your Mouthwash?
Silence can isolate you, but healing requires community. Like Apostle was saying, reach out to someone, even if it's just to say, I don't have words, but I need your presence. So sometimes you could just sit in a room with a person and you don't have to have words, but their presence can mean everything. As long as me and you was in the same room together, I'll be all right.
Right.
Sometimes you find life again in conversations, prayer, or simple companionship. Don't let silence become a grave. Turn it into a garden. Fill it with worship, gratitude, and reflection. Use the stillness to rebuild yourself. When you make peace with silence, you'll begin to have divine whispers.
Jesus. Wow.
Right?
Silence comes that hold a lot of weight.
That was a lot. That was a lot. That was a lot, but I get it. I mean, summarize. Sometimes silence is the best thing you got going for you.
Mhm.
And I know we keep saying, but don't be silent for so long because, but the fact of the matter is, there may be times when your silence is what's saving your life and theirs.
I was trying to pull my book up. I have a part in my book. I don't know if you read my book, Tika Hill Without a Scar.
I'm halfway through, but I don't think I got to silent.
So the silent cry, it's like the third chapter in.
Okay.
Read it.
You
It
ain't reading nothing,
says
boo.
sometimes the loudest pain, sometimes the loudest pain isn't the scream. It's the silence. It's the moment when everything stopped moving. And all you hear is your own heartbeat
Wow.
trying to convince you that you're still alive. The
Jesus.
silent death comes when you cry all your tears, but nothing changes. When you've prayed all your prayers and heaven feels closed for maintenance. It's when the people you poured into disappear, and that's the ones you need the most.
Wow. Wow. Screaming in silence.
Screaming.
Suffering.
Just screaming.
Mhm.
Imagine the little girl in the mirror.
Yes, it's in there. The
Just
chapter is called The Silent Cry.
I
I
remember
remember when
when
we acted out those plays, those
I
Mhm.
was in church and this when I was back in Jersey, but I was going through a real hard place and I was suffering in silence and the lady had me the prophet had me go over to the back of the church and she just told me to scream and while I was screaming out of the scream, she kept hearing help. And
she said
sometimes
what?
she out of the scream she kept hearing the word help
Okay.
while I was screaming at the time. And so I knew that at that time, like I really needed help, but I really had nobody to go to, because when everybody become common with you, it's hard for them to pick up where you are.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, because your silence sometimes, well, you think you're silent, but your body is talking to those around you. I tell people all the time, I know how to read body language. So even though you're saying this to me, your body already said something.
Don't make no sense.
So now I have to decide which one I'm gonna answer. You understand what I'm saying? And you're like, Lord, these people really think I'm weak. I need just one. Give me one good look. Can I just sit down and place you right here on the curb. I'll be right back. I promise you, I'll be right back. And he just laughs. The Lord laughs at us, when we think that we can handle things. We're always trying to help him out. He said, vengeance is his.
He's saying, "Oh, you foolish people."
Like Jesus, like, Father, you see what these kids doing? These your kids. You understand? But when you're people suffer in silence. So if people suffer in silence, what are the chances that they would die in silence? You ever come home? Will you ever turn on television? No. Real life story. We were living on Stuyvesant Avenue in Newark just before we moved, right? No, we moved from Stuyvesant to Chelsea, right?
Yes.
So 2 years before we moved to PA, we were living on Stuyvesant Avenue, and this lady went upstairs and she was screaming and she was screaming. And
Wow.
guess what? Her son had hung himself.
Yes, he did. In the
Jesus.
She walked in on her son hanging from the ceiling in the bathroom. She never knew nothing was wrong with her son. She
Wow.
never knew, and she was devastated as anyone would
Yeah,
and
we was on
should.
Stuyvesant Avenue in
Stuyvesant
that
Avenue.
apartment building. Yeah.
And she was just screaming and screaming and screaming. And then somebody else that we know recently from PA area um, took their own life because they couldn't handle the silence.
Jesus.
They were used to their mate being there, and now their mate is no longer there, and they were tired of living alone.
That's so sad. Wow.
And so these are people who don't say, and the only reason why we know that is because of the note that he left. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people say, I'm going to kill myself, most time they're not, because who tells you before they get me to do it?
Because he didn't tell her anything. He just did it, and she came home, and he was taking
Wow.
the bathroom. He had put a cord around his neck and hung himself from the bathroom.
Wow.
And so when you are witness to those kinds of things, make sure none of your people are there. You want to keep the lines of communication open. You want to make sure that there's not something that they want to say, and they should be able to come to you depending on who you are. If they say, I just need to talk, you ought to be able to be there. Don't give no advice until it's asked for. They said they wanted to talk. They want you to just listen. you know um, you want to be able to do that without interrupting, because they just told you what they wanted. You said okay, so don't talk because I already told you. I need you to listen. And then maybe near the end is when they say, you know what, so out of everything I said today, you know how can you help me? And see, I would have been like, I don't know, because I can't go that long no more with you saying everything you got to say. I need time to write stuff down, or be able to say pause please, and just
Pause.
and just, let them know how far I've gotten and how much I understand. Because when they do come down to them saying, and most of them usually do, now what? Now I'm able to talk because I was able to write down some of the stuff you was going through. I was able to identify with some of this stuff because of my own life. And then just being in the atmosphere of all of the knowledge that you need and still not learning anything. Whew. But yeah, this was good. My medicine or something kicking in. And
Getting
so
sleepy.
I'm struggling over here trying to keep my eyes open. But like I said, I had a procedure yesterday and I'm still not fully over it. But we did not want to miss tonight. I want to thank those of you. Apostle Puglia was on here, Apostle Jessica Hester, Sister Daniela, um, Elder Melissa. That's all I can see. I think she's elder.
Oh.
I think she made elder before she left. You elder, right, Melissa?
Mm-hmm.
I knew they elevated her because I think she's. but it is always good to know that you all think enough of us to come on here and communicate with us and talk with us
Oh,
and
Minister
share.
Melissa.
Will you see, Minister?
She said no. You said, is she elder? She said no.
Just Melissa. I understand. Um, and so I want to thank you guys. That's what we were saying. And my Betsy was supposed to be on with us tonight, full term, but her mouth is hurting. I understand that because that's one of my issues as well. And so we're going to forgive her for that. But she did at least come on and try to participate. So we got to give her that. You know what I'm saying? She the queen.
I kept
You
my
know,
word.
she the queen.
Your word is your bond.
That's all you got right now is your word. Nothing else matters. So we love y'all. Meet us here. All goes well, and God say the same. Meet us here next Wednesday at 9:15, as we discussed. I don't know. I'll try to put up something before
Thank
then to
you.
let you know what we're talking about in the next lesson. All right. Love y'all. Be
Good
blessed.
night,
I love y'all.
Love you
Feel
too.
better. Get y'all some
You
rest.
can pray for us as we pray for you.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Good night.
Good night. Oh,
What's up?
wait.